Miami-Dade rental inventory just hit an all-time high with over 15,000 active listings and more new rentals than we have ever tracked, okay? But despite all this inventory, rent prices, they're still stuck. So if you're renting or planning to move soon, this is an update that you must not miss. What's up, everybody? Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, and in my new very comfortable shirt that my wife bought me. Shout out to my wife for always buying me clothes. And today we're going to be diving into the August 2025 rental data for Miami-Dade County. Everybody loves a good rental video. We haven't done a rental update in a long time, and this one is about leverage, or as they say in France, leverage, okay? Because renters have it and landlords are starting to sweat like a pig in a butcher shop, okay? I don't think that's a saying, but I just made it one. So we've got more inventory than ever, prices that refuse to budge, and landlords are just gobbling months of vacancy just to land a tenant. And if you're trying to get into a better spot or negotiate your lease from a position of strength, check the timestamps down below and hit that Calendly link in the description so we can chat one-on-one and you can make the best informed decision for yourself and for your family. That's what we do here on the Jake Fletcher Miami Real Estate YouTube channel. So if you appreciate that, smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any updates in the future. Let's go ahead and start off with inventory, okay? So active number of listings, that is the green line there. And then number of listings is, number of new listings is the blue line. Let's start with this because it is absolute bananas. It is plátanos. It is all of the above. It is insane, okay? Active listings hit 15,200. You can see that in the green line. That is very clearly way more than we have ever had. It's 2,905 more than last July. If we go over right here on the map, on the graph, on the map. And that is a 23.6% increase year over year. We have never had this many rentals available in Miami-Dade, okay? You can feel it. You can feel it in the showing schedules. Stuff is just sitting longer and there's way more to pick from, okay? I've been working with a lot of rentals, this year because sales have been low, so you got to pay those bills, right? I've been working with a lot of renters. Reach out to me in the contact info down below, and I can tell you right now, every single rental that I have done has been below asking price in the last year, okay? Now, new listings, looking at the blue line, you can see is also up, also record highs. 6,382 new units hit the market this past month. And that's also more than we've ever had in a single month, okay? That's 924 more than last year for a 16.9% jump right there. Translation, okay? Landlords are flooding the market with supply, trying to compete, desperately trying to get somebody into their unit because remember, every month that they don't have a tenant in their unit is a 100% loss of their overhead. So if you've been waiting for options, this is your moment because there's more options than ever and landlords are having to be more competitive than ever, okay? So next up, let's take a look at days on market, average days on market, and then close price to original price ratio. Days on market, that's, the average amount of time that a rental takes to go from, listed to, under contract is 70 days, okay? So looking at that green line there, we see, came down a little bit, but that's still over 2 months and 10 days on the market, okay? Basically, landlords are just burning through their mortgage payments, just hoping to get somebody in the unit. And it's slightly longer than 67 days last July, okay? So if we go over here, right there, slightly more than last July, but it's still better than late 2024 when we were flirting with, in the 80 plus range, even at the beginning of this year. So it's been speeding up a little bit this year, you can see right there. But still, again, over 2 months on the market on average, okay? Now, close price to original price ratio, all that is a measure of, how far off on average are landlords having to come down from their original list prices in order to get a place rented, okay? So, if it was listed for, let's make it easy, $10,000 a month, and it listed for $9,000 a month, that's a 90% closed price to original price ratio. So what did it come in at? 96.7%. You can see right there. Ticked up a little bit, okay? But last July, we were at 97.1%, okay? So that means, landlords are discounting slightly more right now than they were last year. It's not a full-on fire sale, but you're seeing real negotiation power return to the tenant side. So, congratulations to all the tenants out there. Now, what is actually happening with the rent prices? Let's check out median rent price next, and then we're going to go granular unit for unit, like, studios, one bedrooms, etc. But overall, across the whole market, median rental price in Miami-Dade was $3,100. You can see that in the green line right there. And then the blue line here, we have number of, it says number of sales, but it really is number of closed rental transactions. They don't have a different descriptor for rentals, which is kind of weird, but, is what it is. We can decipher and understand what it means. But $3,100, same as last month, and actually the same as last July. So, it's wild because people feel like rents are going down, but they're not really going down crazy. What's really happening is just the list prices have dropped from those crazy pandemic highs, okay? I remember when people were paying $1,000 over asking price for rentals. I saw it firsthand many times. So that is over. People are not offering over asking price for rentals anymore. Sorry, landlords. So as a landlord, it's very important to price your rental correctly, okay? Now, transactions, looking at the blue line there, they're up. They came in at 3,720 for closed leases, up slightly from June, but down a hair from last July, where we can see right here. So overall volume is holding steady, but the market is just way more competitive on the supply side, okay? Now, that could end up resulting in, that competition could result in a lower median rental price, but let's break it down and see what unit types are feeling the most pain, okay? So, again, there's timestamps down below, so you can skip to the part that you care about the most, but we're going to start off with studios, which came in at $2,400 right here in the green line. All the next graphs that we show, you'll have the median rental price in the green and then the number of sales in blue. So studios came in at $2,400, same as June, but down $50 from last July. So that's a 2% dip year over year. Not crazy, but again, it just speaks to the idea that there's more negotiation power in the tenant side, okay? 173 studios rented, down from 184. It makes sense. Who's paying $2,500 for a studio right now? I wouldn't, right? But a lot of people in Brickell probably are, even maybe on South Beach at some of the nicer buildings. Now, going up next to one bedrooms, we see one bedrooms came in at $2,800, slightly up $50 month over month, and $100 more than last July, a 3.7% jump. So one bedrooms actually went up a little bit year over year. That's we actually had 1,048 closed rental transactions, still going strong, but getting close in price to two bedrooms, which came in at $2,900. So one bedroom's $2,800, two bedrooms, $2,900. So if you got an extra $100 in your budget, you can get a whole extra room, okay? That $2,900 was the same price as June and same as last July. So a lot of stability in the two-bedroom price. We actually saw, a big come down in median rental price of two bedrooms, from 2022, late 2021 through 2022, through 2023, through 2024, had a little tick up in, early summer of 2024, and then it's been kind of going down a little bit, and then it's ticking back up since the beginning of this year. But overall, we're really kind of sitting in that $2,900 range for a second now. Again, if inventory continues to increase, we could see that go down, but it's been pretty steady overall. There's been 1,251 closed transactions. That's been holding steady. I've been saying this, for a while now. The two-bedroom market looked soft earlier this year, but it's stabilized now. So, what's also wild, again, is just the fact that there's only $100 difference between two bedrooms and one bedrooms, okay? Now, next up, let's go check out the 3 bedrooms. 3 bedrooms came in at $3,300, flat from last month, but up $50 year over year. So pretty good stability overall in the 3 bedroom rental price. You can see even over the years, it's been pretty stable, sort of in between $3,000 to $3,500 at its peak. Now we're back in that midpoint, that $3,300, 849 3 bedrooms were leased in Miami-Dade last month, slightly higher than last month and last year. So overall solid. Looks like we're seeing, more demand in the 3 bedroom space. And that actually continues over here in the 4 bedroom space. You can see this huge jump since the beginning of this year, or really since we'll call it the spring of this year. Huge jump in the amount of transactions for 4 bedrooms. We're going to talk about that. But 4 bedrooms, this one's actually really wild. It jumped $300 in 1 month, from $4,000 in June to $4,300 in July. Okay, that's a 7.5% spike in 1 month. Okay, it's only $100 more than last year. But what's crazy is the activity. Again, we see 318 closed rentals this last month. That's up 15.6% month over month and up 50% since April. So we might be seeing, more roommate situations out there, as the economy is tough, people are struggling, wages aren't keeping up with inflation, maybe more multi-generational households, people moving back with their families, but something is shifting because we see the more rooms that there are, the greater the demand is growing right now. So something's definitely shifting there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have you recently moved in with roommates? Have you recently increased the amount of roommates that you have? Have you recently moved back in with family? I want to hear what's going on out there. Let me know in the comments. So what does that mean? Where does this leave us, okay? Prices, flat. Inventory, exploding. Landlords, getting more flexible. They're like Simone Biles out there on the balance beam, doing gymnastics just to try to land a tenant. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for the right moment to strike, this is it, honestly. Let's run the numbers, though. Find the right unit for you and make sure that you're not overpaying. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm here for. Schedule a one-on-one with me with the link in the description to my Calendly, or all my contact info is down there. You can reach out to me directly and we will build a plan for your move. It's never too early to start planning, even for rentals, 6 months out, whatever it is. I'm here for you guys. I'm here to help you guys build a solid plan so that you guys can, strategize, get the best rental, best price, and make it as easy as possible for you guys, all right? Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.